Hi everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope well. Oh, sorry about that. I just want to kind of adjust the camera here, so my apologies. I know it might sound a little weird at first, but all right. So it's very sunny and bright where I am. Hi, how are you? It's so good to see you. I'm so excited to be able to connect today. I'm just trying to get my camera together here. But I do want to start by jumping in. So, a couple things that I'm really getting pushed right now, really, to speak about. There is a lot of change, a lot of shifts, and there's a focus on being fluid. Um, that's been a very prominent message over the last couple days of just like being fluid, going with the flow. There might be things that are like popping up that might be like a test of a boundary or like something that it almost feels like it's being kind of dug up again, where I don't know if maybe there's an experience in the past where you're like, okay, I've learned this, um, and then here it comes again type of deal. But it's almost like a pushing of like a boundary, but it's like the response of it, of just being fluid, of just like going with the flow, allowing things to happen. It's almost like a tower moment, like yeah, it's almost like a tower moment where it kind of catches you off guard and you're just like, whoa. But it's like, remember to be fluid in some type of experience or some type of interaction or whatever it might be that kind of throws you off or makes you kind of be like, whoa. Like, it's not meant to throw you off course in any way. It's actually like a test of like a boundary or like a an implementing of sorts, where it's like using all the education, all the knowledge that you've gained from past experiences, being able to use it now or being able to use it in a situation, whatever might come up. And I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. Happy Friday. And it resonates. Oh, I'm so lightheaded. Yeah, it's ironic that you said lightheaded because I've definitely been feeling that. It's a very ungrounded um, kind of shift going on, and it kind of resonates with like the being fluid, where it's going with that flow, where it might feel like your feet are kind of being swept up, where you're like, okay, like you know, it's definitely like I'm getting the image of a river. I'm getting the image of a river where it's like just going with the flow. With whatever this is, whether it's involving other people, whether it's involving a environment, whether it's involving like a situation, relationship. It's there's something that's coming, and I feel like it has to do with a lot of change. I feel like it's going to be positive in the growth sense, because I feel like whatever this is going to push for growth, even though like some might have a hard time adjusting. But if you know and you're aware of it, it's like you can almost kind of already be in that mindset for it, already kind of be in that space where it can be received. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it's definitely a very interesting energy right now. But I'm going to start with water. But I hope everyone's doing well. This is definitely a very interesting, turbulent time for some, and a lot of changes, a lot of things going on, but you might even be on like the outside of the situation, like maybe not so much directly in the change, but you might be like observing this, or you could be feeling it like from a collective perspective, where it's like you see something from like a bird's eye view, but like the people around you might be reacting to what's going on. And so there's a emphasis on being fluid, but then also being it's like This is interesting the way that I'm seeing this, because it's almost like I'm seeing one person surrounded by other people, and it's like that one person seeing something from a bird's eye view, and then that one person who's in the middle of the other people, their calmness is actually going to help the people around them adjust to whatever energy this is, whatever change is happening. It's like keeping that calmness is going to help, if that makes sense. Where, hmm, but it's being able to see something from a higher perspective too. So I don't know if like maybe you'll understand like just from a uh, different viewpoint of something, where you can see something like from a bigger picture, and that perspective is actually going to help, and like your calmness is going to help other people maybe even adjust to what's happening or what's going on. So we have three cards that came out here. We have change, traveling, and new vision. Change actually came out reversed, which I think is interesting. But this is like a wheel for me. This card, it's like a wheel. And I know the light's like really bright where I am, so I hope that the camera focuses on that. But it reminds me of a wheel. And it's change. It's ever going. It's always going to change. It's always going to shift, right? It affects everyone. Change affects every sign, every element, every person. Everyone's always affected by some sort of change, no matter what's going on. And then you have traveling and new vision. So this is like a new path opening up, or like something being made clear, because I'm almost seeing like this change is coming in and it's opening up a path. And then here comes this new vision. So this is for water signs. So I'm not sure if like an opportunity is going to be presented to you, or if you're going to see something clearly and you're going to be like, okay, I see this. Like this is what I'm meant to see. This is the path I'm meant to go down. Where it's maybe if it wasn't quite clear in the past, it's going to be made clear because of whatever change is going to come through. I almost see this as I'm seeing like a big boulder like falling down a mountain, and it's like once this starts moving, it's going to come all the way down the mountain, because it's like gaining momentum. And with the momentum that this change is actually gaining, it's going to open up like an entirely new path. So to put that symbolically, so whatever this is very interesting, because I actually just got a pop up on my computer. It says like restart, it's like a restart thing. I don't think it's actually going to restart my computer, but if anything happens, I will come back on. Don't worry. I don't think it's going to. I think it's just a pop up. But it's like, oh, we're having trouble restarting. Um, that's interesting, because it's again, this change is bringing in some type of new. So it's like a restart. I can see how this correlates. Like it's like restart. I don't know. Like I don't know what that's about. Maybe something's coming back around. Maybe it was like something that has to do with the past, and that's why it's kind of like quote unquote restarting. But this is a path opening up. This is clarity. This is somebody seeing something. And traveling is quick movement. Like with an 8 here, it's kind of like the 8 of Wands. It's quick. But with this fog that's in the card, where it's kind of like up in here, it took some time for this to clear out, right? But it's quick, because the sun's shining and you can see the sun. It's clear. And it's taking action towards it. So there's a new vision here. This change is bringing something new. Let me get rid of this pop-up. Okay, good. It went. Yeah. Oh, hi, Jillian. Hope you're well. Thank you. I am doing well. Hope you're doing well too. It's good to connect. I'm glad everybody can be here. It means a lot to me. So with water signs here, like I said before I started pulling cards, there's something with this change where it's going to be like abrupt. It's going to be abrupt. You have maturity at the bottom of the deck here. So this could even be something that's like a growth oriented like lesson to some extent, where it like pushes you to grow in new ways, to mature in new ways. You know, because we're always evolving, we're always changing. And this is a new path, new vision. This change is coming in and it's literally paving a new path. So this is a completion of something too, because you have a 10 here. So this is big. You have turning in. And with this turning in here with the 4, there might be some like, you know, just some anxiety towards maybe like just, you know, feeling the energy, feeling the shifts. Like there could be some, you know, you could be picking up on some anxiety, but it's like quiet the mind, because if you are experiencing that, you can go inward and that's going to bring you more serenity, because it seems like there's a lot going on the outside. So this could be like people around you. This could be like the environment around you because of all the change. And again, this actually reminds me of what I said when I said that I saw a person in the middle surrounded by people. They're like little face. They're like actually like little faces in here. I know it's kind of hard to see because of the light. I'm sorry, but these little faces that are depicted in this card reminds me of the image that I said earlier about that person being in like a room and their calmness is actually going to benefit the people around them, because the people around them might be experiencing a lot of anxiety, might be experiencing a lot of fear, might be experiencing a lot of, you know, feelings like that. And so by maintaining this focus, this peace, this serenity, this calmness inside, it's going to actually help. It's going to radiate to those around you. So it's like keeping your peace, right? Staying fluid, because this actually reminds me of water. So it's staying fluid in a situation that might be a little bit chaotic, might be it might be noisy. And by noisy, it can be a couple different things. Like it can be actually like you could just be dealing with a lot of people, or there could just be a lot of anxiety. But it's like maintaining that inner peace by going within, because there's something here with this new path, with this new vision. This change is going to bring this in, but this change might also bring feelings of uneasiness. And it could be from it could be from your own feelings, because we're humans and, you know, we have emotions and we, you know, are meant to, you know, process these things as we go along. Or it could be picking up on those around you, the environment even, of feeling it, right? So I hope that that makes sense. Like I really hope that that makes sense, because like really going within is going to be key to whatever this is. And by actually holding that space, it does actually help ease the people or like whatever's going on around you, right? Because if you want to think about it in the sense of like energy bubbles, right? To put it simply, like we all exist on like a quantum field. And so when we experience an emotion and we radiate that energy, like other people, like it goes out from our bodies, right, into our energy fields. And so when we are at peace, when we can connect into that peace, that will radiate. You see what I'm saying? It will radiate. I saw 1414. So even if it doesn't feel like it, even if you're like, okay, like I'm just gonna, you know, quiet my mind, I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna make it a point to just dedicate 15 minutes a day for me to just quiet my mind, to do whatever it is, whether it's in the morning, whether it's at night, whenever you find time, however you do it, right? You meditate in the shower, whatever it is, however you connect, it's completely up to you. But it's in this process of whatever change, whatever shift this is, don't wave don't waver off of that. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm seeing this change coming in literally like almost like a boulder. Like this change is coming in very quick, and I'm literally seeing it's like a big rock falling down a mountain. You know, once it gains enough momentum, it's going to come down the mountain. You see what I'm saying? Gravity's going to work, it's going to pull it down. This change is going to bring in a new path. It's going to open it up. It's going to be clear. This change it's here. You know, this pathway is opening. This new vision is coming in. By maintaining that and holding that space, not only are you going to help other people around you, because again, in the quantum field, when you're at peace, when you can hold on to that, when you can meditate and be like, okay, I'm going to work at being at peace, even just that effort alone, it radiates and it can help those around you. So you might notice, like during this time of change, during the shift, whatever it might be, with family, with friends, you might notice them experiencing anxiety or uneasiness. And what these cards are saying is like, hold space, like hold that peace. You see what I'm saying? Because it's going to be a little bit bumpy, and it's going to be bumpy. Like everyone's going to feel different stuff. And sometimes when, you know, when you do energy work, when you're a highly sensitive person, when you're an empath, whatever, you know, however it resonates, right? We feel that as human beings because we exist on a quantum field. So as we ourselves tune in and we balance ourselves, you would be so surprised at how that radiates around us. It's like a domino effect. So as you do work, holding that space, holding that vision, because you're seeing this path is being made clear. By holding that positive vision, that like high frequency vibration, whatever you want to call it, right? By holding that, you actually are radiating it around you. And so it's really a beautiful energy to be in, because this is like water signs. Like, I don't think you realize how powerful you really are when it comes to being able to hold that space, you know, because it seems like in this, with these cards that I have here, with this change coming in, this new path, there's a new vision here, right? But there's a lot of like, there's a lot of shifts, a lot of change, a lot of things that are going to be going on outside. But stay strong in tuning inwards, because going within is going to be the key to like maintaining this, because you got it. It's right there. The change is bringing it in. It's going to literally pave a new path. I literally see this as like a big rock that's going to literally pave this open. But you might be in a position, or you might find yourself in a position with like those around you where you're holding space, and you might not realize it. You know what I'm saying? So by focusing, going within, by meditating, however you connect, whatever works for you, by doing the things that you do that keep you grounded or that help you get grounded, even if it doesn't feel like it's working, it's working. You see what I'm saying? That new vision is coming through. So I hope that landed. I hope that makes sense, because this is like really powerful for water signs. Like, this is really like being fluid, because this is like really even like stepping up to the plate is like really what I'm getting. Where water signs, like, you might be put in a position where like you might be that person where like people are going to come to because they don't know how to process like what's going on, or they're having a hard time processing, or they're having a hard time dealing with their emotions. And because water signs are so connected in their emotions, you guys might be like assisting people and not even realizing it. You might be helping people and not even realizing it, because water signs are very connected in their emotions. And you might notice that, you know, you guys might be helping like people through this change, and you might not even realize it. You being you is enough, really. It is more than enough. Like, you just being the happy people that you are on a day-to-day basis, like random acts of kindness, like those little things, just being you and holding space for you really does radiate. It really does. It creates a beautiful, beautiful field. And you'd be surprised. Here's the projections card. I feel like with projections as a card here, this tells me that there could be a connection that comes in that could initiate a lot of change. This is masculine and feminine energies. And this is also mirroring. And this also goes along with what I was saying, water signs, with like with as you, I'm sorry that this is kind of like cryptic and like vague. I'm trying my best to put it into terms like of of just simplifying what I'm trying to say here. By going within and like holding that space for you, like again, like you'd be surprised at like what you're gonna bring in, because that's that energy, like it's gonna be mirrored. And this new path that opens up, this new vision, this is like new alignments, like where it's this could be like a new group of people, new friends, new relationships. This could be someone that comes in that initiates a change. If you're not dealing with anyone at all, this could be somebody new who it's like this leads to that, where this change leads to this, or this person comes in and leads to this. And this is also radiating positivity and like literally mirroring it back. Like this is insane. You guys are in a really good position. Water signs are in a really great position. That's really, at the end of the day, it's a great position to be in. The energy's beautiful. Let's pull some regular cards here, because I feel like I could go down a rabbit hole with trying to figure this energy out. But it's very like bird's eye view of something. And it's like a domino effect almost, where your energy affects other people. You don't realize it sometimes, but it's like a domino effect. So the more you go within, the more you recenter that energy on that new vision and allow this to just kind of unfold. I'm telling you, like, be fluid, because it's beautiful energy. Like, wow. I feel like you're gonna come into contact with like a group of people or a person or something, and it's like just recognition. Like maybe you for a while were dealing with people that maybe you felt like didn't really understand you, and this is like coming into alignment with people who really understand you. Like, and even just understanding yourself. You're the Queen of Wands here. This is fire energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So there's the Ten of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. Interesting. What is this about? Hold on one second. What is this Queen of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, and Four of Pentacles about? Can I clarify this? I can clarify the Four of Pentacles. So you got a lot of Pentacles. Okay, so this is interesting. All right, water signs. You guys could be dealing with a fire sign or an earth sign. There's a Queen of Wands energy that is working on something or has like established some type of foundation. This foundation, she's looking at the Ten of Pentacles. She's looking right at it. Or the feminine depiction, and this Queen of Wands is looking at this card. So, hmm, I feel like this Queen of Wands has been working really hard building a foundation, but has been reluctant to maybe open up. There's a reluctancy to open up here. It's like a defensiveness almost. Wanting to work on something because there is another energy present, but they're not like quite on the board yet. But they're here in the card and they're here on the card and they're here on the card. And it's like looking right at this foundation, this Ten of Pentacles, and this Four of Pentacles is not wanting to open up. And the Five of Swords clarifying the Four of Pentacles, in my perspective, is it's like a mind, like being in their mind. It's a lot of mental energy. Maybe not wanting to open up, not wanting to share, like being crazy passionate, being crazy on fire right now when it comes to like their energy. Like your energy is beautiful. Like you're extremely vibrant being the Queen of Wands or coming in as the Queen of Wands. So you have someone who is like really in their power, but they might be so in their power that it's just like maybe not meeting the right person. Wanting to work on something with this Three of Pentacles, being willing to work together, but it's like having like a hesitation to open up. Because you have other people here who like kind of battled with these swords here, right? It's the Five of Swords. So you have other people that, but then it's like walking away with these three swords and these other two people just kind of like being like, it's like a feeling defeated in a way. So I don't know if somebody mentally feels defeated or if they've just been through a lot that they don't want to open up, because you have the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck clarifying with the Ten of Swords. And I think that that's interesting because that's like an ending of like just straight passion. So if there's been like a pattern of like dealing with people who are like maybe just wanting like, I don't know, maybe just focused on like one thing, like maybe it was all about the passion, all about the excitement, all about the, like what can I get out of a situation? There's an ending to that with this Hermit, especially because this is like soul searching, recognizing even, because this Queen of Wands has some sort of foundation with the Ten of Pentacles. But again, there's three people in this Ten of Pentacles card. I can't get the camera to focus, but there's three people and two dogs. So there could even be like an older masculine here, masculine energy. Again, with this Ten of Pentacles, because there is a masculine energy in the Ten of Pentacles. But they're focused on the two dogs, and then there are two other people in the card. So I don't know if somebody just shifted their focus to money. Maybe there's just a reluctancy to open up. Or somebody feels defeated. Or somebody, again, just doesn't want to open up because they don't want, they feel like they haven't met the right person. They feel like they haven't met somebody who can put in the same amount of work that they put in. So they hold back their energy with the Four of Pentacles. Because they're holding on tightly. This person has a lot to offer. But this person also knows how to battle when it comes to like standing up for themselves. And I've never really looked at the Five of Swords like that, but the way that this came out, it's kind of hard for me to see that, or not to see that. And then you have the Devil with the Emperor at the bottom of the deck on this one. That's interesting. So there's a masculine energy here, and it is an older masculine energy, because the Emperor usually is somebody who's a little bit more wiser in age. Sometimes. Not always. But it's Emperor energy. It can be stubborn, can be more... The Emperor energy is usually more established in life, to like, materially, or they have a house, or they have a family, or they have experience, like life experience. And with the Devil here, it's Capricorn Aries energy. So this person could be in business. This could be somebody who runs a business. Because Capricorn energy with the devil here, this is like material realm too. And with the devil being with the Emperor and the Wheel of Fortune also here, 10 of Wands, and then here's the 8 of Wands with the Ace of Pentacles. Like here. See what I'm saying? So this is all at the bottom of the deck. So this is what you don't see. So somebody is like really stressed out about some type of offer coming in. But this Emperor is somebody, again, who deals with pentacles. So you're dealing with somebody, again, who they might, they don't have a lot of cups out. You know what I'm saying? They have pentacles. So you're dealing with somebody who works with, like, earthly, tangible things. This is somebody who maybe shows their stability through financial means by, like, being stable financially, or this is somebody who values, it's, you know, Capricorn energy is somebody who values that material. 10 of Pence, you know, there's a lot of pence out. Need I say less? You know? Might be dealing with somebody who would rather show you that they care by being stable than to express love. Like through being, like, emotional. You see what I'm saying? That this person might be getting, like, I don't want to say hard to talk to or, like, hard to communicate with, but you're definitely dealing with somebody who maybe doesn't enjoy being emotional. Like, this person almost gets, like, maybe even a little bit angry to a certain extent if they're pushed to be emotional, or, like, maybe if they are emotional, it kind of comes out like they get, like, mad and, like, walk away or something, and it's just because they feel, you know, sad or something. But it's like you're dealing with somebody, again, who would rather work than to process anything emotional, which is not, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But there is also, with the Hermit here, the 10 of Swords and the Ace of Wands, this is a maturity thing, because maturity came out earlier in the other cards. Somebody might actually be maturing because of something that went down. Because this Queen of Wands pulled back their energy, because this Queen of Wands pulled back their energy big time. And this is interesting because when I look at this 10 of Pence, there's this guy right here with, he's got, like, white hair. He's got white hair or gray hair. And he's got, like, the 2 dogs down here. Reminds me of the Emperor with the white hair. So this Queen of Wands, you could have pulled back your energy and, like, just shifted your focus, which is good because you're in a good energy with the Queen of Wands. Like, feminine energy is in a great energy here. Like, you're sitting really, really well. Like, you are balanced. You're on fire. You got a lot of energy coming through. You're intuitive. But you're looking directly at this person, and this person's looking directly at you. I don't want to necessarily say that this Emperor was, like, toxic, but I definitely would maybe say that this person has a hard time expressing. But this isn't somebody, like, I'm not picking up by any means, like, any type of negativity or, like, abuse or anything like that. Like, I'm not seeing that at all. I'm seeing an energy who feels uncomfortable by emotions. They have a hard time. But with the cards that actually came out earlier, I remember maturing came out in the other deck, and I think that's interesting with the Emperor, because in order to come out as the Emperor, you have to go through a maturing process. And so this is an energy that went through some type of process to get to be the Emperor. So that actually might be a good thing that this person's coming in this energy, because they're coming in stable, at least, like with the Pentacles, like they're coming in grounded. But there is a lot of anxiety about maybe how something's going to go down, because they're carrying a lot of stress with this 10 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. And I feel like the stress has to do with communication. And going back to the other cards that are up here, this projections card with the new vision and the path and the change, I feel like this Emperor might be bringing this in, because this communication might bring in a lot of change, because this Eight of Wands is travel, it's quick moving energy, it's fast moving energy. And this Ten of Wands is something that's very burdensome. So it's weighing very heavily on this person. And it has to do with this Ace of Pentacles with the Strength card. This Ace of Pentacles and Strength is like having the strength to choose a path. Again, two of Wands and the Two of Cups right underneath that. So this is all what you don't see because it's at the bottom of the deck. That's interesting. So somebody's making a decision about a path, and it has to do with this Two of Cups, and this person has to have the strength to make this decision, or they do have the strength to make this decision with the Wheel coming out. But this is somebody, again, who maybe in the past there was a little bit of back and forth energy because somebody might not have been putting in as much effort as maybe you were, or vice versa. But I feel like you're dealing with somebody who went through a maturing process. And I feel like whoever it is was in masculine energy because it's the Emperor here. But this Emperor knows that whatever this Eight of Wands is it's stressing them out with this Ace of Pentacles, that it's some type of offer that they know can bring in a lot of change. This Emperor is bringing in this change. And I kind of picked up on that reading these other cards, where I'm like, this could be a person that comes in that initiates this change. I think it's this Emperor. And if you already have some type of a foundation built, it might be, I don't know, this person might want to build with you, add into it. Like, it looks like something's already established. So I don't know how that's going to play into it, but this person knows that this communication could change. It could change some things. But you could have been dealing with somebody who in the past, again, they weren't putting in the same type of energy that you were. They were maybe a little bit more like not serious about it. Just, you know. But with this Queen of Wands being here, it's like you're very at peace. Or you're going to be very at peace with whatever's coming at you, because with this Queen of Wands being here and with this turning inwards card, it's like having your eyes closed, meditating, like not seeing something directly. So you might not even like see this coming. It might be like one of those times where it's like you don't expect to, like, I don't know, maybe get a message or hear from somebody, or it's something that might come in. Could be dealing with somebody who has Capricorn in their chart, Aries in their chart, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, then Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Virgo. There was an ending to an Ace of Wands. Now, depending on however you see that, it's like Ace of Wands is like that passion, but it was like rethinking something, maybe coming in more stable with the Page of Pence underneath of it. So maybe you were dealing with somebody who just wasn't giving you what you deserved, and this person maybe had a realization that maybe they weren't coming in grounded. Maybe they were coming in a little bit aloof, maybe a little bit detached. Maybe they weren't being very direct. Maybe they weren't taking things very seriously. There's a number of things that this could be. But you have this Emperor coming in. Now, if you're not dealing with anybody, this is something that could lead to a new situation. It's Queen of Wands. You have some type of foundation for yourself already established. You could meet somebody who could be somebody in business, or they like do something in business, like the Emperor with the Devil. Like, they definitely would work in some type of a business management, business, like entrepreneurial position. They could travel a lot. But again, if you're like holding back your energy, like waiting for the right person, I feel like you're gonna meet somebody, you're gonna see somebody, you could be traveling when you meet this person. It could be a work opportunity where you meet this person. It could be relating to work. Like, again, if you're not dealing with anybody, you're like, well, you want somebody totally new, like that type of deal. You could meet somebody and this person is very good at what they do when it comes to business. Like, this is somebody who's very well respected. This is somebody who is very well established. This would be somebody who's very grounded, very secure, very confident. And it's like with strength here in the wheel, this change could bring this in, or vice versa. This person could bring this change in. It could go down both ways, really. Because this new vision's here, like this Queen of Wands energy, it's like you see something. And whatever it is that you see, whatever it is that you figured out, you see it clearly now. And with that recognition, and it's like you stepped out of one thing and stepped into a completely different plane. You know what I mean? And so, like with doing that, actually put you on path to whatever this is, which is beautiful, right? Because it's a beautiful energy. It really is. Very transformative. So as these changes are happening, as these things are, shifting in our lives, just keep your peace and go with the flow. Do what it is you got to do. Don't let your passion be dulled down. You know what I mean? Like keep that balance within you, because I'm telling you, you're going to come into alignment with something over here. And you're like, you have an energy that's coming towards you. If you don't already know what this is, like this new path that's opening up, this new vision, it's beautiful. And it could lead to something very successful. You could be taking control in a situation and really going after what it is that you want to go after. And that can lead you to a whole different like reality of like, whoa, like, and it's like when you least expect it. So I don't know, like you might like this Emperor energy is very interesting to me. Because like they have a very strong masculine presence. I don't know if you already know who this is or not, but I mean, you both are like looking right at each other in the cards, and I think that says something. But this could play out a couple different ways. But I do feel like there was something in the past that maybe went down, back and forth behavior, mental energy. Definitely some mental energy. But I wanted to focus on water a little bit because I really was just getting a lot for water. And I'm like, what is going on with all this energy? But that actually makes a lot of sense because you guys might really be like assisting a lot of people and not even realizing it. Like you just being yourself, like I don't think you realize like how powerful that is when you just hold space. So let's step in the fire. So you have compromise. Trust. Oh, sharing and isolation. I feel like for fire signs, I feel like you guys are going to come up to a crossroads and I feel like you're going to have to make a decision about something. And this decision might have to be involving like you coming out of a situation, you coming out of maybe a time period of isolation, and really opening up and sharing your energy with other people around you. But I feel like with this like crossroads type of energy that I have here, it's like needing to like trust whatever process it is, because I feel like you're going to make a decision and you might not know like what to do about this decision. You might not know which way to go. But there's a sense of trusting this process, really opening up and being vulnerable. And in the sense of like maybe being vulnerable to like your intuition and listening to what you're being guided to. Let's get one more. I feel like you're coming out of something here. Patience and slowing down. I feel like you guys, again, it's almost like being like, I'm seeing like a little chicken and an egg. And it's like, for a period of time, like the embryo or the yolk has to, develop into like the little baby, and then the chick forms out of the egg, and then the egg hatches, and then it becomes a baby chick, or, I don't know. You guys get the point. You get the, you get the symbolism I'm trying to say. But I'm like literally seeing like this little egg, and it's like needing that time of like being in utero. And so there's like a very symbolic meaning behind whatever time period you guys just went through, where maybe you guys pull back your energy. Maybe it was like this hermit mode type of energy where maybe you just focused a lot on yourself. You really went within, you really did the work. You're just like, all right, you know what, I'm just going to focus on me. Maybe you've been doing that for a while, and now it's finally at that point where you're going to make a decision to come out of this time period of like isolation and really opening up and sharing, and being open to compromising, but also being open to trusting like where you're being guided. Because with patience being here and slowing down, it's like something's almost speeding up, but it had to go for like a cycle. Like we needed this time period, this cycle, for something to kind of grow and be nurtured. And now finally, after a time period of being slowed down and being isolated, it's like something picking back up again with this patience here, where it's like, okay, slowing down is now in reverse. And then here comes this patience where it's this time period, it was very needed for the development of something. See what I'm saying? You could be asked to look at something in a different perspective too, where you might need to find a way to compromise with the way that maybe you see something. This is interesting. I don't know what this decision's about, but I feel like you have a decision here with compromise. And it's like needing to really trust whatever you've been like thinking about. Because I feel like there's an energy that's been in like an isolation period, and it's like coming out of it finally. But this patience was needed. Hmm. I'm being pulled to like a dream that I had, and I wonder if like dreams maybe aren't very like, or are very symbolic right now for you. Like you might have a dream about something, about a location or like a place, or like you might be like having really vivid dreams or just something like that. But dreams are very telling. They tell us a lot about our subconscious. So the Four of Swords. So this is like a time period of rest. It's also very spiritual. It's like spiritual rest. Rejuvenating. There could have been a lesson in balance. Five of Wands. It's competition, not participating in competition. Ace of Wands. Ten of Wands and the Magician. Interesting. So this is like, I see like an energy that just like stopped participating in something. That's one thing that I'm seeing. I'm seeing like an energy with this Four of Swords where it's like somebody just completely like stopped participating in whatever this was with the Five of Wands. Somebody could have made a decision to just not compete, to like rest instead. Somebody's going to get some type of a spark back. And the spark is going to lead to a lot of creation. But I feel like somebody needed to rest because they were fighting for something. And it had to do with like a lot of passion or something that they're very passionate about. But it's like losing a spark maybe, or like maybe not losing a spark, but like the spark like kind of just like being like exhausted. And then after a time period of rest, the spark's going to come back. And it comes after a time period of being very stressed out and maybe carrying a lot that maybe one didn't need to carry. This is interesting energy for fire. Very different than water. So that tells me that water and fire are in polar opposite energies, for sure. So if you're dealing with a fire sign and that person's like in fire energy, whatever, or somebody in fire energy, this person's like they went through a very like, I want to say like strenuous, like it's a lot of battling back and forth, like fighting people. And it's like the Five of Wands is very competitive. It's a lot of people, it's competition, it's back and forth. So you're dealing with somebody very competitive or who likes to be competitive. But this person actually like exhausted themselves, and so now it's like a time period of rest with like the Four of Swords. And then you have the Magician over here on the end. So it's like the spreads being crowned on both ends, one with rest and the other with creation. So after a time period of rest, after a time period of competing, after a time period of maybe going back and forth, of feeling stressed out over some type of Ace of Wands here, stepping into a time period of this Magician energy, becoming a master. Because the Magician's like a master. They're an alchemist. They make things happen. They bring things into creation. Somebody could have been mentally conflicted as well, needing to compromise and trust their intuition, because mentally, like they're in their head a lot. Six of Swords. This person's slowly coming out of this energy, but it's almost like fighting like something with this five. I don't know. It's like back and forth energy here. I don't know if it's the people maybe that they're around or if this is like mental confliction. Then you have the Ten of Pence, you have the Knight of Pence, and you have the Ace of Cups. Somebody is slowly moving out of something because the spark's going to come back. And it's like they slowly build to this Ten of Pence, and then here's this Ace of Wands coming in. But then the Knight of Pentacles, it's like they immediately slow themselves back down. And it almost like stresses them out with this Ace of Cups and the Ten of Wands. Because I don't know if you're dealing with like a fire sign that just maybe like, it's like, stop, go, stop, go. Like, what is this? Back and forth energy. It's like they're resting, they're competing, they're resting, they're competing, they're going, they're stopping, they're going, they're stopping, they're moving slow. The Six of Swords, they're coming out of something, moving away from something. So there was some type of mental conflict because they're coming out of a Five of Swords and Six of Swords, you know? Six of Swords comes from Five of Swords. So they're moving away from something. They're moving towards this Ten of Pence that they've been conflicted over with this Ace of Wands, crowning it. They have a lot of passion for it. They're either going to get a burst of energy or they have this burst of energy already, but then this Knight of Pentacles slows it down. Because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. So it's like slow, speed up, like Knight of Pentacles, then you have the Ten of Wands. And this Knight of Pentacles is looking right at this Ace of Cups. The Magician is crowning the Ace of Cups. The Ten of Wands is crowning the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups because it's in the middle. This energy is stressed out about sharing their emotions or opening up, being vulnerable. They're stressed out. It's like you're dealing with someone who knows how to react, but they don't know how to respond. And I don't even know what that means. Well, I mean, like, I can kind of like, I get the symbolism or whatever, like, you know, the comparison, but it's like you're dealing with somebody, again, it's like you're dealing with somebody who knows how to react, but they don't know how to respond. And I guess what that means is like, you know how to, like, you're dealing with somebody who knows how to, like, quick, like, react, like, when they're like, oh, I want that. But then it's like when it comes to a response where they have to, like, think something through or they have to, like, process something, they have a harder time. And this person, it's like they stress themselves out because it's like they go, they stop, they go, they stop, they go, they stop. So you might be dealing with somebody like who it's like they need to like temper themselves. You see what I'm saying? Like they gotta like temper themselves. And this person might struggle to temper themselves. And so they might have even like there might have even been some like self-sabotage with this because this person would have like hit the gas pedal, hit the brake, hit the gas pedal, hit the brake. And they might not have realized like what that would have like what consequences that could have, you know, led to. Because it's like this person might not have thought about it because they were just so caught up in their own reactions that it's like, oh, and then all of a sudden they're faced with this Ace of Cups and might have been dealing with somebody who doesn't really deal with emotions very well. So that's kind of coming back from the water sign read. But see, now they're with this Knight of Pence, they're looking right at the Ace of Cups. But there's a hesitation, and there's also them being extremely stressed out with the Ten of Wands. But then they have the Magician, so it's like this person knows they can open up. They know they can do it. They know they have all the tools that they need to do it, but they're stressing themselves out over this Ace of Cups. This could even go as deep as like self-love and self-worth, where it's like this person's struggling because it's like they have been through a lot themselves and maybe they don't know how to maybe tap into that as easily as maybe some other people might be able to tap into that. So maybe this person kept it safe in the past and maybe relied on material and physical things instead of emotional things because maybe emotions weren't safe. So you could be dealing with a situation like that. But again, somebody needs to compromise here and trust whatever they're falling into. There's movement here. Somebody's coming out of an isolation, but this energy is stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. So I don't know. Like, you know, that's up to you if you want to put up with that. I'm not here to say right or wrong, but this is a energy that must be affecting you because it's coming out in the cards, and you have the Five of Pence. So feeling left out in the cold, feeling maybe a little bit ignored, feeling at a loss, at a lack of. That's interesting because you go from the Ten of Pence to the Five of Pence. So this is an energy that maybe has gone through. It's like they're trying to get back inside of this building. Maybe they put themselves out in the cold, Or like there's an energy here where this person might have made a decision in the past that maybe put themselves out in the cold a little bit. You have the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck with Temperance. So this is, again, needing to temper. This is needing to balance. I feel like somebody has a lot of emotion, but it's like they didn't, like, not knowing what to do with it. But again, being a very competitive person, though. This person knows how to compete, knows what they're doing. But you're, again, dealing with a person who knows how to react but not respond. So this person knows how to quick react, where it's like impulse. But if you like were to sit down and be like, hey, can we talk about this? They would struggle. You know what I mean? But if they saw something that they really like, they're like, oh, I want that. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. I'm seeing somebody kick like a soccer ball. So I don't know if you're dealing with somebody who plays soccer or if you're dealing with somebody who plays football. But it's like they like I'm seeing somebody just kick a ball. So you're dealing with somebody who plays sports or like they're competitive or they like sports. Or somebody does enjoy sports, like that competitiveness. Four of Cups, somebody feels ignored. They feel left out in the cold, not focused on what's being given to them, or they weren't focused on what's being given to them. Feel like they missed an opportunity even. So somebody who's been like very much isolated for a while now. So this has had to been like going on for like a couple months. I'd say like 7-8 months, year at the longest, maybe even longer. I could see this being longer, to be completely fair. Because again, energy doesn't really necessarily have a time frame, but this is an energy that I feel like has been lingering for some time. Especially with the Ten of Pence being present on the board, that tells me that there's something that's been put out for the long term, that's been worked on, it's been established. So with that established like foundation being the Ten of Pence being out, it's like that tells me that there's been some time that's been put into something. So this has been going on for a little while now, but somebody, I'm not to be that person, but it's like somebody might be getting sick of like how they feel because they kind of are realizing that they put themselves in the position that they're in. It's like this person kind of left themselves out in the cold. Then you have the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck with the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Cups, the Three of Pence, the Nine of Pence, Eight of Cups. It's like coming right back around because I don't know, you could get an apology. It's very quick, fast moving energy. But again, you could be dealing with the King of Wands energy. You could be dealing with the King of Cups energy. That definitely came out at the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with somebody who has fire and water. Maybe fire and water connected in some way, shape, and form. This is somebody who might be coming back around to take action towards something. It's like they might come in as this Knight of Wands at first, but then it's like coming in with the Knight of Cups. It could be an apology. This could even be a little bit manipulative, so just be aware. Again, I gotta point out all sides because I feel like you've been going back and forth with this person. This is somebody who isolated themselves from the situation. And then all of a sudden, here comes this energy back around. So use your best judgment on what you think is right. If you feel comfortable, then you feel comfortable. If not, move forward, because you're going to walk into something new anyway. So it's all in kind of, if you want to revisit this, if this is something that's from the past. Now, if this isn't something from the past, and if I were to look at this as something like brand new, after a time period of maybe taking time out, again, you might meet somebody at work, or there's something work related, or it's like having an interest in something. Like maybe you take a class and you meet somebody in a class, or you go to work and you meet somebody at work, or it's take a business trip, you meet somebody on a business trip. You could meet somebody while you're out, at the gym. I don't know, it's whatever. But I feel like whatever it is involves pentacles, and it could lead to a new opportunity after a time period of healing, and not, bickering back and forth, not competing with competition energy, that kind of stuff where it's back and forth, and, taking yourself out of a competitive energy and putting yourself in a receiving energy of just being like, you know what, I'm just going to nurture myself, and I'm going to stop, giving my energy to situations that aren't feeding me this Ace of Cups, that are making me feel left out in the cold, that aren't making me feel recognized. Maybe you're dealing with people in the past who, just, it's like one thing after another, where it's like, not feeling validated, or not feeling like you're being seen, or with the Four of Cups, feeling ignored, feeling left out in the cold. It's choosing to remove your energy from that, and then boom, here comes this beautiful energy over here, and beautiful independence. Like, I mean, like, the confidence is like, it's insane. Like, it's amazing energy. You're just like radiating confidence, and believe me when I say, like, people see that, you know people see that. So even if you're not dealing with anybody, like, you're going to step into a beautiful energy, and you're going to come into alignment with, you could have a couple different people here, because you could have, if you're not dealing with anybody at all, you could have a water sign that comes towards you, a fire sign that comes towards you. And again, you have water and fire here too, where you could get a Knight of Cups and Knight of Wands. You see what I'm saying? Like, you could have options, especially because the five of Wands is out. But see, if I were to look at it like that, you removed yourself from any competitive energy. So this is what would be coming towards you, because you took your power back, because you're like, you know what? I'm just going to focus on myself. And then boom, here comes this energy. So it could go down a number of ways. Yeah. Oh, hi, Catherine. It's good to see you. So good to connect. It really is. So that actually looks really good. I mean, that came out pretty quick for fire signs. Let me see if I can get any advice cards. Oops. I just tried to shuffle that, and that did not work the way I wanted it to. So let's get one advice card. Knight of Swords, go after it. There's going to be an energy that comes towards you. It's like, don't be afraid to communicate. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. Don't be afraid to go after what it is that you want to go after. There could be some communication that's coming in, and if there is communication that comes in, don't be afraid to be clear and to speak your mind. So yeah. So fire, that was really quick. Hmm. Let's do Earth. Let's jump into Earth. Ooh. Okay. Okay, Earth. You guys have Beyond Illusion and Going with the Flow. First two cards. That makes sense. So I feel like Earth, I feel like you guys are seeing something, but it's like this is like vision coming through, like again, dream time, meditation. The eyes are closed, but you're completely aware of something. And this is like letting go of control and just going with the flow. Like with what I said in the beginning of water. So maybe for Earth, maybe revisit the water read, because there might be information in there that might resonate with where you're at energetically, because this is having peace and serenity too, like the ability to flow. This is being like totally relaxed too. So you're slowing down. This is like pausing, but not directly pausing as much as it is letting the tide or letting the stream or letting the river take you at its pace. See what I'm saying? So this is like allowing the universe to just kind of like do its thing, to put it simply. You're slowing down, you're letting go of control. You're like, you know what? I'm just gonna float. I'm gonna get ahead. I'm flowing through this river, and we'll use the symbol of like a river, right? Because it's flowing water. So you're just like, you know what? I can't go upstream, so I'm just gonna flow with it. I'm gonna go with the water. I'm gonna go with the flow. I'm gonna put my feet up. I'm gonna float downstream, and I'm gonna trust this process. I'm gonna go within. I'm gonna listen to my intuition. Like, you have rebirth coming out too. This is a transformation. This is also, you have 3 10s. 10, 10, 10. So completion and a new beginning. So with this rebirth being here, this is like, this is transforming in energy. This is also Leo energy too. It's seeing something from a different perspective. You have new vision at the bottom of the deck too. And that this actually came out, I think, for water. This is like a resurgence of energy. I literally like, this correlates so much with water. This is like such a beautiful transformative read, and it's like going at ease, like going at peace with it, like just letting things, letting nature take its course. You know, not fighting it, not trying to resist a change, not fighting to resist anything. Just being like, okay, I'm just observing. I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna let things go the way that they need to go. I'm gonna reflect. I'm gonna, look at things in a different perspective. I'm gonna maybe take some time out and see things, from a point of revisiting. Like maybe you revisit something that was a theme in your life 10 years ago. You might revisit that and you might be like, I've come a long way from this. Like I've made a lot of progress in this area of my life, or I've done a lot of things differently since this point. It's a rebirth, really. Total transformation. There's a lot of strength involved in this too, and a lot of courage to be able to break out of some type of an illusion and condition, like conditionings, because the lion in this card actually reminds me of the conditionings card. And let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it in this deck really quick, because the conditionings card it just reminds me of it, and it's like this lion that's breaking out of all these ropes and chains and stuff, and it's like coming out of like all these sheep. And it's like really stepping into its true identity as being a lion. You know what I mean? Like breaking out of those old conditionings. Watch it do the last card. Sitting here and like, I really want to show you. I feel like I got to show you the image. There it is. It reminds me of this card a lot because it's like really breaking free and like having the courage, having the strength, like opening up, like letting people hear your voice, letting people like see like your truth, you know. So I think that that's really, really interesting. That's beautiful energy. It really is. It's not having the fear either. It's like not fearing, you know, change. Not fearing a rebirth. Not fearing maybe what we don't understand. So you have the Eight of Wands. This is like a download. This is like your intuition coming through, a spark of like information that just like you're just like, I got it. It's like an epiphany moment, you know. You have the King of Pentacles here. You could be dealing with an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is could be travel too. This could be an Earth sign, masculine energy here. Then you have the Eight of Swords. This is somebody, again, who maybe held themselves back, maybe held themselves back through their own conditionings. But with the Eight of Wands coming through here, this is somebody breaking out of that energy. They're breaking away from this Eight of Swords because they know they figured it out. Like this Eight of Wands, it's like pushing this person through. You could be dealing with an older Earth sign, or this could be like somebody who maybe just an old soul, but this person might give advice or might say something that helps another person or even a younger energy come out of an energy that maybe they're holding themselves back in, if that makes sense. There could be a younger energy here that like might be stuck in a, because like the Eight of Swords is always like it's an interesting card for me, and it's one of those cards where it's like you can get out of the Eight of Swords, you know what I mean, but it's all in how you look at it. And this could be somebody offering insight, offering advice, offering some type of like awareness to an individual who could be a younger air sign. And they might say something to this person that helps them get out of this position, or helps them not feel like they're stuck. And then you have this Nine of Cups where it's like wish fulfillment. This is also like enjoying the finer things, like having a good time, like emotional abundance, but this can also be a little bit selfish, but not always. I don't see it as being very selfish right now. You have 8899. So you have an energy. What the hell is this? I'm sorry, hang on, guys. Like, this is really interesting to me because this King of Pentacles, like, who is this? Is this you, or is this the King of Pentacles? Like, is this one person, or is this two people? Because this King of Pentacles is looking at this Eight of Swords. It's pushing through this Eight of Swords. Then you have this Nine of Cups with the Nine of Swords. So it's like wish fulfillment and extreme anxiety and sleepless nights. I don't know if somebody is like self-indulging and like they're just drinking a lot, or maybe dealing with somebody where they worry a lot about this person. But this can also be like selfishness too, where like there could be an energy here that's like feeling trapped and then having anxiety, and the other person's just kind of like being really selfish about it. I don't know. What is that? There's like this there's if I wanted to look at the images on the card, this is a feminine image from the way that I see it on this card. So I could say that there's a feminine energy present on the board, but it's like who's in the 9 of swords and who's in the 9 of cups. It's like I don't know if this could be the king of pentacles too, like holding themselves back, or maybe they were holding themselves back because like this is like self-induced bondage, like restricting themselves, but they could easily get out of it at any point in time. But with this 8 of wands, it's like pushing through that energy. And then here you have the 9 of cups, but then this 9 of swords really throws me off. Because I'm like, why is there the 9 of swords here? What's the anxiety about? What's the sleepless nights about? Is it because of this 8 of wands? Is it communication? Is the king of pentacles, like, do they have anxiety about something? Is it pertaining to communication? Is it pertaining to travel? Is it pertaining to a wish fulfillment? Beyond illusion, going with the flow, slowing down. So this is interesting energy. What is this? Huh. You have the 5 of Pence at the bottom of the deck with the 10 of Cups. And then you have the 9 of Swords and Strength. So it's like having the strength to communicate something. Is somebody like fearful that they like are missing out on an opportunity, or they feel like maybe somebody maybe won't be receptive to something? Because with this 9 of Swords, it's like wanting to come in with the communication, having the strength to come in, but coming in very quick, very sharp. And then you have the 5 of Pence, which tells me that somebody felt left out in the cold. But then the 10 of Cups is like emotions, like emotional fulfillment. So you have the 9 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. It's like this, maybe the King of Pentacles wants to come out of maybe restricting themselves. Maybe this King of Pentacles is the one that's going through this rebirth. And they could be the one who maybe is slowing down looking at something, but it's like they have sleepless nights. Like they're up all night about something. I don't know what that's about. But this is somebody who held themselves back. Maybe it is the King of Pentacles who's seeing beyond the illusion of it, and that they know that they have to let something just kind of run its course. Maybe they recognize that they need to, maybe their lifestyle calls them to maybe have some anxiety because they're like, okay, like I can't maybe do this. Because the 9 of Cups speaks about a couple different things. The 9 of Cups can be somebody who, again, overindulges, but is also wish fulfillment. So depending on how you're looking at it, but if I were to like look at it from this perspective, this King of Pentacles might have been a little bit selfish with like the way that they distributed their time, if that makes sense. And I don't even know why I said it that way, but it's like you could have been dealing with somebody who is just very like, I don't know. It's obscure to me, but with the slowing down, crowning this, going with the flow beyond illusion and rebirth, I feel like this King of Pentacles might be the one who's going through a rebirth. Because it's like, were you just dealing with somebody who like just wasn't, they just weren't receptive, maybe? Because the King of Pentacles can be somebody who's so focused on work that they like kind of neglect other areas, but not always. You know, sometimes the King of Pentacles is, you know, very stable energy, not always a workaholic, you know. But you could have been dealing with somebody who prioritized making money over anything. And you could have been dealing with somebody who enjoyed living their life their way, and they didn't feel like they had to compromise. But see, their decisions have led them to the Nine of Swords, which is interesting because I'm like, is this person or this energy, this is somebody who's they literally, they hold themselves back. Can I clarify this? What is this Nine of Cups, Nine of Swords about? Six of Pence is what just came out. So why is the Six of Pence here? So that's like give and take. Does this person have a hard time sharing, like, their time? Like, do they have a hard time balancing their time, their energy? Knight of Pentacles, Page of Cups. It's like wanting to come in and make an offer, but being slow as shit about it. Either way, I feel like somebody's going to get somebody's going to get a message. And I feel like this King of Pentacles is kind of like up in their head about this message, but I feel like they're going to have like an epiphany moment where they finally see kind of where they should have been giving equally. Because you might have been dealing with somebody who purposely held themselves back, but now it's like finally seeing beyond some type of illusion, but it's like coming in very quickly. But then the slowing down, whatever that is, it might give them anxiety. Because they might see something now, and it's like maybe they didn't see it before. So this is clearly all masculine energy. So if you think about the concept of like masculine energy, this is like taking action. This is somebody, again, who isn't afraid to take action, but they purposely hold themselves back. They could have been withholding communication, and it ended up stressing them, like they ended up just stressing themselves out. Because it's like they realized like, oh, this is, my 10 of Cups. But they were the ones kind of like, doing it to themselves a little bit. And it can be vice versa, it could be. This is interesting. I hope this makes sense. I feel like this King of Pentacles is not grounded right now. Despite coming in as a King of Pence, I don't think they're very grounded. At the moment. King of Pence. The Emperor. What is this about? This is the Emperor, the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. Wow. Wow. So there's a couple here. And it's like the King and the Queen of Cups, but then you have somebody as the Emperor. So either you're dealing with somebody who, like, all right, bear with me. There's a couple different things. This is either one person who needs to step into Emperor energy and come in as the King of Cups. Or this is somebody who you could be dealing with multiple energies. You could have an earth sign, you could have a fire sign, you could have a water sign. There's clearly a connection with the water sign. You have a King and a Queen of Cups. You have an Emperor here with the King of Pentacles. This person could have been very stubborn in the past, holding themselves back, not wanting to communicate. But then here comes this communication because somebody else could have stepped into the picture. If that is not resonating, hang on, because there's a couple different things. If you're not dealing with anybody and you're just kind of grounding yourself. You get, you're seeing beyond the illusion, you're going with the flow, you're having a rebirth, you're slowing down, you're seeing this wish fulfillment or the potential of a wish fulfillment, but it's also, could be creating some, sleepless nights. It could have a lot of energy, mental energy, you know what I'm saying? But you might not see this Knight of Pentacles with the Six of Pentacles, because by you stepping in and taking action towards your own rebirth, your own transformation, stepping into that energy, it's like you're going to step right into a beautiful connection with somebody. It's very emotional, it's very in touch emotionally, because the King and the Queen of Cups are like, that's a lot of empathy, that's a lot of emotions, it's beautiful energy, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's beautiful energy. You have the Ten of Cups here. There's something, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. What is going on? I'm sorry. What is going on right now? If you, again, this could be multiple people, like one kind of working their way out of the energy, another one coming in. This Emperor, if this is multiple people, I feel like this Emperor might have something to say because of this King of Cups stepping in. So if you're dealing with multiple people, like, you could meet somebody new and it's like you have a beautiful connection with this new person. Like, don't let this other person from the past like disrupt whatever this connection is. Because if this person from the past, like, you saw beyond the illusion of something and you let go and you're like, you know what, I'm not going to try and force something if it's not meant to be, yada yada yada, etc., etc., etc. Because you made that decision to let go, this other energy, like, they could have picked up on that, you know what I'm saying, like, intuitively, and it's like, now here they come back around like a boomerang, right? Because the energy comes back around, and because you move forward, or it's like they felt it or they see it, and because you move forward, like, you could meet somebody and it's like a beautiful connection. So don't let whatever this past is, like, if you know that you're dealing with somebody from the past and you meet somebody new and you're like, whoa, like, I actually really like this person, like, I get along really well with them, like, there seems to be like a connection, don't shut that new person down for this other person, because I'm telling you, you got the King and the Queen of Cups here. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can meet somebody new and it's like this, like, you could have such a beautiful connection with that person, but then here comes this past energy, like, wanting to communicate because they felt that disconnect, that movement forward, but you saw beyond the illusion of it already. You went with the flow, you let it go, you're like, you know what's meant to be will be, and then boom, you meet somebody new, it's a beautiful connection, you feel really like connected with them, you're like, oh my gosh, like wow, and then here comes this other person because you move forward. So depending on how you want to look at it, it's like there's a couple different things. Now, if you're not dealing with multiple people and this is just like, same person, it's like, because again, I don't know your storyline, I'm just reading the cards. If you're dealing with one person specifically, this is somebody maybe realizing where they could have been a little bit different or where they could have shown up differently. This person could be stepping into this Emperor energy, deciding to take action, deciding to come in more grounded, deciding to come in with more give and take, deciding to be more open about sharing their energy or whatever it might be, because there was a realization that somebody could have been a wish fulfillment. Somebody saw beyond the illusion of maybe their own self-sabotaging behavior, because sometimes with the Eight of Swords, I get self-sabotage off of this, because this is somebody, again, who could have restricted themselves and they didn't want to go through a rebirth. They didn't want to see the things that they needed to see. And because of that, it kind of initiated this change. So it kind of depends on what your situation is, right? So if you are dealing with multiple people, you could meet somebody new and it could potentially lead to something very beautiful. You guys are coming in as counterparts, King and Queen of Cups. But you could have a connection from the past that might try to come back around and be like, blah, 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 you know. But, don't ignore that new connection. Like, if you meet somebody new, like, I'm telling you, you're going to know. If you feel it, you feel it. If not, let it go, So that is Earth. I'm like, wow. let's jump in the air. Oops. I did not mean to just hit my camera, but the light kind of did something cool there. So air, you guys actually have the creator out as your first card. That's beautiful. You have the nothingness. That's like my blank slate card. So this is like air, like this is like really realizing that like you can create anything. This is my perspective card, because this is like you can either look at this as a you know, like massive black hole type of card, or you can look at this as a blank slate. And if you look at this as a blank slate, then you look at this as the possibility to create anything. And this is realizing that you have the potential to literally create anything, and that you have the ability to create anything. And this is literally this card is called the creator. So this is like really recognizing your true capacity of like being like, you know what, like I can do anything. I can create anything. Like I am in tune with myself to know like how to work your own energy. I almost get like a high priestess vibe off of this. So you have innocence, and then you also have guidance. So this is like my sage wisdom card, where this is like having the ability to have like life experience and like going through life and like going through certain things in life, but not allowing it to like take away the childlike perspective of the world. Because like, you know, when you're a child and you look at things and like, you know, you ever see children like look at bugs for the first time, and they are so curious. Like there's no fear, there's no like anticipation of something negative. It's literally just pure curiosity. This is like being able to tap back into that energy and being able to channel that, and to really connect into that innocence of being able to look at life through an innocent perspective, a child's perspective, but then also having the wisdom of life experience as well. And with the guidance card being here, this tells me that you're being guided through a situation, and I feel like you're actually being very protected in this process, because this is like recognizing that like even though something might be like a blank slate, or something might be like a fresh start, or whatever it might be, you might not know what's going to happen next. It's trusting this guidance and trusting like that you can get through something. And you might even be like using humor. Like humor might play a huge part in like someone's healing, or the way that they view how something's gonna like shift or change or whatever it might be. It's being able to like laugh at like being able to laugh at yourself, right? Being able to, you know, have a good time, you know, not to be so serious all the time. This is a beautiful energy, air signs. This is like really understanding like how to like work with your own energy. Like you could have done a lot of work with like your solar plexus, like your stomach area. Like this could be connected into your emotions where like you could have been processing a lot of emotions and you might not have even realized it. You could have been doing work in dream time, or like maybe you intentionally were meditating to like work through certain things, but the work is paying off because this innocence card doesn't come out unless you've really put in the work. Because to get to that point, you've really gone through a lot and you really have transmuted a lot of energies in order to be able to come like full circle to look at something in that perspective. Because, you know, like when we're children, we don't have like that life experience that sometimes can be, you know, stressful or whatever it might be. Because, you know, when we're children, life is, you know, not that complicated. We go outside, we play, we have our friends, we go to school, you know, depending on what your definition of childhood is, right? It's that it's not having that burden of like the world's like traumas and stresses. It's being able to transmute it and being able to tap back into that childlike perspective and not being able, like, not being stuck, you know, because sometimes like as we grow older and as, you know, events happen in our lives, we lose, I don't want to say lose because we really don't ever lose it. It just kind of gets put away. But it's like we put away a part of ourselves that we really should remain in contact with, if that makes sense. And so this energy that's being tapped into with the creator card, the innocence card, the guidance card, even though you might be a little bit unsure, look at something through the eyes of like humor, through the eyes of a child, through the eyes of compassion, through the eyes of curiosity. You see what I'm saying? Because like we forget like how simple like a child's mind is, because as we get older that's when we learn about like all the complex emotions and stuff, and to a child like they haven't developed that yet, they haven't experienced that stuff yet. And so it's being able to like tap back into that within your own self, of being able to like allow playtime, you know, because even as an adult we need playtime. We do, like, we got to tap back into that, even if it's just doodling on a piece of paper, even if you just, you know, read a book, anything that feeds that inner child, that allows our imagination to play. Even humor is a great way to tap back into that, being able to laugh at a joke or being able to laugh at oneself. This is beautiful energy for air signs. I literally can't say it enough. This has been beautiful energy for all the elements, really. Like every single element's like transmuting their own energy in their own way, and it's just so awesome to see it. Because it's like the recognition of like what's important, you know? Like those little things in our life, like, you know, like going outside and just taking just taking that moment to just like look around at the world, you know, like look around at like the leaves. Like I know like in some areas it's fall, and so the foliage with like the leaves and the trees and stuff are like real beautiful. Like go outside and like just play, you know what I mean? Like when you were a kid, like did you ever just go outside and like look at leaves and like look at the lines and the colors and like just kind of be like blown away at mother nature, because you're like, whoa, like how did all of these colors come off of this one leaf? Like, and like, you know what I mean? Like it's tapping into that energy as much as we possibly can during this time. And I feel like with this coming out in air sign read, this is a beautiful collective energy that is, it seems to be like, it's just so wonderful to see this, because you know, I think really during this time, especially, we need to have that for an outlet for ourselves, you know, because life is stressful enough, you know, like, like shit in the world is pretty stressful enough. It, you know, sometimes it's okay to to tap back into that inner child and to just be like, you know what, it's safe to play. There's a ladybug on my window. It just came out of nowhere. So I don't know if a ladybug is symbolic to anybody, but it's really just like, it's just like so awesome, to see this energy come through, because this tells me that people are experiencing this and that people are doing this, like are really taking that moment to like recognize like, okay, like I can reclaim my power just by doing this, just by reshifting my focus, just by tapping back into that youthful presence, that innocent presence. Because I feel like the everyday life that we live, like going to work every day, like yeah, it's great, it's wonderful to do those things, but sometimes it's just like it can be very, very stressful, and there's a lot of things going on. It's a lot of noise out in the world right now, and it's really good to dedicate some time for you, however you do it. Even if you have kids, if you whatever you do, go outside, connect, however, just have some fun. Like, I know my dad and I used to go outside. We used to collect leaves that we thought were really cool, and we would put them in like dictionaries, like the really big dictionaries, and we would put the leaves in there so that they would flatten out. And I just found them the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to go back outside and do that." Like, I need to revisit that memory with myself at the age that I am now, and I need to tap back into that, because that's like the energy that I feel like is so important right now as we transmute a lot of what we're experiencing as a collective, especially like with all these shifts and changes. And the Scorpio season has been like a doozy so far, for at least from my perspective. It's been a lot, but it's needed change. It's really needed change, and it's really good that this energy is starting to surface, because it's so, so important um, to really remember, who we are. And I'm just now looking at the chat. Kathy, I'm delivering the mail surrounded by vibrant reds. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the foliage is so beautiful right now, especially where I'm at. Like, we just had all of our leaves turn, and it is just so beautiful. Like, the colors are unbelievable right now, especially like because I'm on like the East Coast area. It's just like it's amazing. The trees are just beautiful. And think about it, like from a child's perspective, like a young child, like maybe it's their first fall where they can like really remember it. Like, you remember how bright those colors used to look, like, and like that's kind of the energy where it's like that creator energy, because children really like are so pure, and they just, there's so much symbolism right now. Oh my gosh, I bet that is beautiful, Catherine. I bet that is so beautiful. Wow. That's awesome. That's so awesome. Just like take a second and just breathe it in, because our planet is so beautiful. It really is. I love to see the seasons change. I really do. Even like winter, like I love the stillness of it, and summer and spring, like it's just, they all have their own beauty. And I think that this energy, like it's such a beautiful energy to come out. And I'm so glad that this is coming through, because even though it's like, I say like earth, air, water, fire, this is all affecting everybody in different ways. So it's just really great to see this, because this is like really recognizing that we can reclaim our power, like we can take our power back. And we have the ability to really like, we can harness this energy, and we have the ability to literally create our realities. Like we transmute those energies. And this is also like with this innocence card, this is like gaining that wisdom, and also cultivating that energy, transmuting that energy not only into wisdom, but into like happiness. And it's so beautiful. It is. So let's pull some tarot. Some Oh, I love the little emojis. The water, fire, earth, air. I love that. That's so cool. Thank you for putting that up there. So the first card's out. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So we actually have the Three of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Six of Wands. But that tells me that there is success moving forward. Because the Three of Swords is a past energy, the Five of Cups is a past energy, and this is somebody literally getting on their horse of victory and moving forward and having support as they move forward. This is beautiful. This is moving away from past heartbreak, moving away from any energy that makes you feel like you're mourning a loss of or anything like that. It's really moving away successfully from this energy, being able to transmute it, being able to heal from it, being able to not let it hold you back, not let it create any fear, not let it have any attachments. You're leaving it in the past. It's being left where it needs to be left, especially with the creator crowning it with this blank slate card. It's moving forward victoriously, and I feel like there's an energy of a lot of support, friends, family, however that might be. It's a lot of support, a lot of recognition. And then you have the Hermit. This is doing the work. Like, see what I mean? Like, this is like that Hermit energy. And it's so funny because this is crowning the Hermit. So this is really transmuting heartbreak, loss, anything that's made you feel like, it's the Three Swords and the Five of Cups. It's like that's heavy, heavy energy. But through evolving in that heavy energy, through working through the heavy energy, you become the creator. And that's the thing. Like, it's we all have those heavier feelings. We all experience, loss to some degree. We all experience heartbreak. We all experience those things, and we all can transmute it. And this is such a beautiful energy because it's leaving that in the past. It's letting it be where it needs to be and moving forward, because it's not so much forgetting, because it's, we never forget what we go through, but it's not allowing it to control anymore, not allowing it to take your energy, not allowing it to keep you stuck. Choosing to move forward, choosing to do it in a healthy way, in an insightful way, gaining wisdom, gaining clarity. Knight of Pentacles, moving, it's a slow moving energy, but this is a stable energy. The Knight of Pentacles doesn't come out unless it's like knowing that you want to commit to something, knowing that you want to establish something, knowing that you want to work towards something, having a goal in mind. Knight of Pentacles is a very goal-oriented energy. And yeah, wow, look at that camera glare. That's crazy. I'm not sure. It must be the way that it's like hitting my camera, but I can't like get it to go away. Like, it went away a little bit right there, but it's still like, it's I'm like, I don't know. I have my blinds pulled down in front, so I'm like, okay. Like, again, it's like an illumination. You know what I mean? It's like an illumination of sorts, of like clarity coming through. The sun's gonna come out. Like, I'm hearing that. What's that song? This is it. The sun will come out tomorrow. Is that the lyric to it? Ah. You know what I mean? It's like that optimism. It's a very optimistic energy of being like, okay, like, even though maybe this energy hasn't hit yet, maybe there's still some Three of Swords, Five of Cups energy lingering. It's going to transmute itself. It's going to work itself through. There's going to be a push through. See what I mean? It's working through a lot of heavier feelings, but it's being successful at it. It's being able to transmute it. It's being able to it's being able to see the light at the end of that tunnel, being able to see the success, even though it might not feel like it's quite here yet, if that makes sense. And I just looked up at the chat. Yeah. It's here. My 7-year-old's been. Whoa, really? Wow, that's so cool. 7-year-old. That's awesome. Oh, before the bus. That's so cute. Aw. That's a good song. You know, kids are very receptive to energies. They really are. And 7 years, I remember when I was 7, and I actually think when I was 7, I told my mom that she was like pregnant with my sister, and she didn't, but like she like didn't believe me. But at 7 years old, like I knew, and literally she was like, "How did you know that? Like, how did you know at 7 years old?" But children are so open and they're so receptive. So them just singing that song before the bus, like they're already picking up on that energy, and that's so beautiful. It's like you'd be surprised at like how many signs and like little synchronicities might be like little messages for us, like little nudges, and it might come from the people around us, just even in them just singing that song this morning. That's so beautiful. And it says something, especially even with the light, the light that's on the camera. It's like that illumination. It's really a beautiful energy that's coming through. Right? It's beautiful. Yeah, Vicky, I feel the same way. It's beautiful. Everyone's like, it's when she is so annoying. That's so funny. That is so funny. She is trying to tell you guys a cat's a boy. That's funny. I love children. They're so funny. That is awesome. So with this 4 of Cups that's here, it's making progress, moving away from all that energy, and then here comes the King of Cups. Moving forward successfully. This is like emotional, like maturity, even emotional recognition, because like with the King of Cups here, it's like I almost just like conquering emotions. It's like overcoming. Like I don't even think those are the right words, but it's like mastering. Maybe not even mastering, but like because we're always students. We are always students. But this is like self mastery, even on an emotion on an emotional plane. And then here we have the Queen of Pence. She's grounded, stable, nurturing, loving. That's a balance. That's a nice balance. And that's a good representation of like masculine and feminine energies coming into harmony with one another, being emotionally secure and the other being grounded and stable. This is like a balance. If I were to look at this in a different way, you could be dealing with a water sign, who, again, you might already know this person, you might not know this person already, maybe you haven't met them yet, but this could also be on a self level, like an individual level. It looks like there could have been a fire sign that might be lingering from the past, but it looks like with the fire sign, if there is a fire sign in the past, this person actually helped, um in a sense of like a lesson, because I feel like there was something that was learned with a fire sign. And it probably, I feel like it has to do with like equal give and take. Now, if you're not dealing with anybody from the past, this is moving forward successfully, like transmuting those emotions, letting things go from the past, not letting anything hold you back anymore, stepping into that energy of being really grounded, very stable. And I feel like you might actually meet somebody new. Lovers at the bottom of the deck over here. And I feel like this person, like either you or this other person, will be pushed to take action, to create, to work together on something, especially with this King of Wands, because the King of Wands takes action. And this is taking action to give to something and to co-create. Now, this could also be two different people. Because again, I gotta look at it in all different ways, especially because the Lover is here with the Moon card. So this is something that you don't see, and the Lovers is a choice, or can be a choice, I should say. So it looks like this Queen of Pentacles is focused on maintaining this security. And the security could be just emotional security. It could be, because you transmuted all this energy. You did all this work on yourself. You're just like, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to do my thing. And then boom, here comes this water sign. And then you might have a fire sign that might try to come back from the past. And they might want to like take action and like put in effort towards something. But I don't know, you might have already, or you might meet somebody new where it could potentially develop into something. Because in the past, you might have been dealing with somebody again who wasn't like, they just weren't like, maybe the Three of Swords, this is stuff in the past. So this is past heartbreak. So you went through some type of a loss with, it could have been with a fire sign, or because something maybe didn't work out. They might try to come back around, but you might have already moved forward because you recognized something with the Hermit and the Knight of Pentacles about how you were being treated. Like, because there was a lesson involved in this where, say, for example, if you're dealing with a fire sign, you could have been dealing with somebody again who maybe they didn't like treat you, like maybe they weren't disrespectful, but it's like you didn't like the way that you were being treated because it wasn't 100% authentic. It wasn't authentic. You know what I mean? And so now that you recognize that and you're like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm going to transmute that energy. It's not me. It's nothing that I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you transmute the energy. You're like, you know what? It's not. And then boom, here comes someone new because you let it go. And then here comes this other person where maybe in the past it didn't work out because maybe that person wasn't like 100% like willing to commit or whatever. Now you have a decision because you recognized how you wanted to be treated, because maybe I'm not saying that somebody, I'm not saying anybody's a bad person, but I'm saying this King of Wands might have maybe not been very consistent. And so you recognize like, hey, I don't like to be treated like this. This isn't really my cup of tea. And so by you working through those emotions, and of course, as you have a connection with somebody, you're going to feel a loss. You're going to feel like a mourning in a sense, because maybe you had a connection with this person. It was good. Not saying everything's bad, right? So, but that recognition of being like, I really didn't like the way that I was treated in that. And so now you're moving forward, and it's like coming into alignment with like, okay, now you might have met somebody new who is going to treat you the way that you want to be treated. And you're like, hold on a second. This is actually really nice, like maybe this isn't so bad. But then here's this fire sign and they're like, oh, hey, I realized this. And you're like, well, hey, I also realized this. So you might have a choice. You might have a choice between somebody from the past and somebody who's new, or a newer energy, a fresher energy. You could even meet somebody new and like you feel like it's like an instant connection, and you're like, maybe I should pay attention to this connection over here. Don't let this past person hold you back, because you went through what you went through, because you already did that. You don't need to go through it again, but you do have free will. But it looks like there might be somebody new, and if you meet somebody new and you're like, hang on a minute, I really enjoy this person, like I like the way that they treat me, and then here comes this person from the past, don't miss, don't ignore what's coming towards you that's new because of this past person. You see what I'm saying? because like I don't want to say missing out on an opportunity, but it's like you might have a connection over here that's new that might be more fulfilling. And just because this King of Wands is like, oh hey, I realized blah blah blah, I want to come back around and try again. I mean, how many times have you been going through this with this fire sign? You see what I'm saying? So there's a number of different ways that this could go down. Now, I'm not saying that the fire sign is not a bad option. It's just all in what you want to deal with. You see what I'm saying? Because you have free will. So if you do have multiple people, you have a choice between a fire sign, a possible earth sign, and a water sign. And that's completely up to you. From my perspective as the reader, it looks like you might have the fire sign from a past situation, but then it looks like you might have a newer connection with a water sign. And this newer connection with the water sign might be more guided than what you realize. Because this fire sign actually taught you something. Because you went through some type of a heartbreak, of a loss, and it taught you something. It put you in your power. You see what I'm saying? And so it's like lesson learned. And then you recognize it and it's boom. You know what I mean? So I don't know, use your best judgment. You do what you want to do at the end of the day. It looks like this fire sign wants to come back in and make like some type of an effort to like communicate or to bring something in. Now, another way that I'm seeing this, which is also a possibility because I am reading for a collective, so I do have to take this into consideration because there's multiple scenarios that this could be. You could be dealing with the same person, and this person is coming in more grounded. And instead of coming in as the King of Wands, being in and out, they might come in as the King of Cups, being more grounded in their emotions. They might come in a little bit more emotionally connected. They might come in a little bit more focused on that cup, that emotion. Because with the King of Wands, the Six of Pentacles, and the Magician, this is wanting to create, wanting to manifest. And, this person could come in and switch up their energy, and they could come in more emotional. So it could go down a number of ways. But the Lovers and the Moon, it's like you don't see this coming. You know what I mean? This is kind of what's being kept, what's not 100% seen. So this could be an offer. Okay, you have the Page of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Somebody might come back around with an offer, or there might be an offer that's given. If you're dealing with multiple people, and you have somebody from your past, and you have somebody who you just met or you've recently met, either one. See what I'm saying? You have free will. I'm not going to tell you which one to go. You see what I'm saying? You got to make that judgment call yourself. If this new person makes an offer to you, you got the Ten of Cups here. You also have the Fool, Justice, and the Four of Pentacles. So all I'm saying is don't let your past hold you back, because you have something beautiful right around the corner. So trust your intuition and do what you feel is right, because it looks like you might have some options. Could this be the same person that's coming back around? Yeah, this could be the same person. Does it always happen that way? No. So don't limit yourself to one narrative. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're not dealing with anybody at all, this could be somebody new. And then you could have somebody from your past come back around out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa, I haven't talked to this person in X amount of years. But then here comes somebody new too. And then there you have to make a decision. But see what I'm saying? Like, trust your intuition on this. Because no matter what it is, you've successfully moved forward in your own energy by transmuting a lot of heaviness from the past. So really, at the end of the day, it's up to you as to what do you want to go after? What do you want to choose? So when this does come up when this does come to surface, you'll know what it is. And I feel like you're at peace with yourself enough to see it. You'll know it's guided. You might have already met someone new and you know it's guided. Or you're going to come in contact with somebody new and you're going to be like, I just know that I'm meant to meet this person, or I'm meant to talk to this person. You never know. You see what I'm saying? There's not a certain specific way that it's going to manifest for everyone. It's going to come out in different ways. So it's just being open and receptive. And with the innocence card being here with the creator card, this tells me that you're already sitting there. You're open. You're receptive. You're good. You just got to let this energy play out. You know, and at the end of the day, if you have options, you have options. You know, but don't be afraid to move forward. Don't let the past hold you back. See what I'm saying? But it's your choice. At the end of the day, you do have free will. It looks like you have a water sign, a fire sign, and a possible earth sign. So it's pretty cool. This is beautiful energy across the board for everyone. So I'm looking forward to see how this develops for everyone. Like, this looks beautiful. It's like really stepping into your power. Like, I'm honestly, like, I'm so happy to read this. Because it's like hard work paying off. You know, like a lot of like hard work that's just being paid off. So good job, you know? Like, good job. And also with this innocence card, it's like, you know, stay in that innocence type of perspective. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to laugh at something. Don't be afraid to joke about something. Don't be afraid to, you know, to shed a tear. Don't be afraid to, you know, be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to hold space for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a beautiful energy, a beautiful card to sit in. It's really great. It's being guided. You have a new slate, a blank slate. You can literally, it's literally, the ball is in your court, you know? This is a great restart, really. So if you're moving on from the past and you're like, I'm done with, you know, everything in the past, I want new, you're getting new. Believe me, you're definitely getting new. It just might take some time, because right now, with all the things that are going on, like, you know, astrologically and all that other good stuff, it's a lot of change. And so it might be a little bit of time for things to kind of play out, but, you know, just maintain that balance. And you know, like, there's such a beautiful like inner peace here, that it's like, stay in that. You know what I mean? Just stay in that inner peace. And like I said earlier in the read, like, you might not realize like how much you are actually affecting the people around you just by being at peace with yourself. So you might actually play a really big role in the lives of the people around you for this next like time period. Because with all the shifts and the change that's occurring, it's like you might find yourself in a position where people are coming to you, you know? And so you might be the person who reminds somebody to maybe laugh a little bit, or, you know, maybe look at this a little bit different. Like, you might be that person for other people. Could be family, could be friends, but it's a beautiful energy. Like, whatever's going on in the sense of like partnerships and stuff, just let it play out. Focus on yourself and focus on the stuff that you want to do. And believe me when I say that, when you focus on you and you do the things that you want to do, like by aligning yourself to your dreams and your goals, the right people will find you. You know, the right people will find you. And sometimes it can seem like it's like a very like isolating experience, because it's like, wow, like, you know, maybe you're going through a really big transformation with the people around you, and it's like, wow, like my friend group is totally changing, and, you know, I'm not resonating with these people anymore. Just go with the flow, let it happen. And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it's you're going to come into alignment with new people, new friends, and it's all going to take time. You see what I'm saying? It's going to take time, because there's a huge shift going on, and it's a shift of like consciousness, and it's also a shift in like awareness too. But, and I'm just using that as like an example, you know. It could really be on any scale. Like, you could see this with the people around you. You could see it in in your own experience. It really radiates through a lot of different areas of life. But don't worry. Just chill. Just chill. Focus on you. Focus on your goals, your dreams. Focus on the things you want to do. Take that class if you want to take a class. Go to that meeting if you want to go to a meeting. Take that seminar if you want to take that seminar. Don't be afraid to take that job, if that's what you feel like you want to do. Take that walk, or, go on that camping trip, whatever it is, whatever it is. Don't let anything stop you from living life, because as you live and you put that energy out, believe me, it will come back. But when we are fearful and when we shut down and when we stay isolated, it makes it hard for the universe to knock on our door. We got to open up the doors. See what I'm saying? Because the universe can knock on your door. It's up to you if you open it. You got to open it. You got to go outside, symbolically. Like, you got to put yourself out there. And by putting yourself out there, I don't mean like publicly. I mean like literally just taking a walk, just spending time in the sun, just maybe talking to a neighbor, checking up on somebody that maybe you haven't spoken to in a while, even just reading a book, going to the park, walking your dog or your cat or, whoever, however you connect and spend time. That is putting yourself out there, and that is opening up the possibilities, because by you interacting and putting yourself out there, it's like you just don't realize what how you impact the world. Like, you could be at the grocery store and you could just smile at somebody and it's like you make their day. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what people go through. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? So when you pass that person in the street and it's like you get that feeling and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna smile at this person. There might be a reason why. And it all corresponds with this energy right here, this innocence, that light-hearted energy. Be that light. Don't be afraid to be that light. Don't be afraid to share kindness. Because the world can seem very scary right now, but don't be afraid to be kind. And I feel like a lot of people who I read these cards for, like, I feel like you're all very sensitive, empathetic people. You guys are lights. Don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid to share that. Because I feel like your role is very important, and you might not realize it. Because aside from the relationship aspect and the partnership aspect, your influence on the people around you is very important, especially during this time, because this is this can be a very difficult time for some people, and you might witness that in your social circle. And so it's just remembering in those moments, like, hey, like, maybe I need to hold space for this person, or maybe I should check up on this person, or maybe I should, whatever. You use your best judgment. You'll know. You don't need me to tell you that. You'll know. But those little moments, man, they really make a difference. It's like a domino effect. I don't know. Maybe you'll go to a park or something, and it's like you'll have an interaction at a park with somebody, and you never know how much that conversation might mean to somebody. You know. So this is beautiful energy to be in. It really is, and I wish everyone the best during this time. And I think that there's a full moon coming up. So do what it is that y'all do for your full moon, and enjoy it. And I hope everyone has a relaxing time. Definitely take some time out for yourself. And I am doing personal reads, so I am open for those. So please feel free to email me if you are interested. But yeah, that's really what I got for the elements right now. That's about all I can do for right now. I'd like to come back at a later time and do the individual signs, but I've been on here for 2 hours and like 20 minutes, I believe. But this was a really great read. It doesn't, whatever element you fall into, I highly recommend watching all of them because they all had messages that intertwined with each other. And we all have, every element really kind of influencing our chart in some way, shape, or form. So it's good to know, it's definitely good to be informed of. But there's definitely a huge emphasis right now on the water signs. And water, like people who are more water dominant in their chart might notice that energy like more prominently during this time. So, but that was great. That was awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming into the chat. It's so good to hang out with you guys and to connect. It really is. I love doing this. And it's so cool to read what everybody's got to say. And it's so nice to know that this resonates because sometimes I'm like, what is going on? Oh, thank you, Vicky. It's so good to connect. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I really am. Thank you guys. Thank you. Seriously, thank you guys for your support. It really means the world to me. It's such a blessing to be here and to be able to just talk, like it's just such a blessing. And I wish everyone the best. And I'm looking forward to the next time that we can all sit and hang out. But I'm going to go grab some food. So I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening or morning or midday, whatever time frame everyone sees this. Oh, that's no problem, Catherine. Whatever. I just like to let everybody know. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate that. Seriously, it really means the world to me. It's such a beautiful community. But I wish you guys the best. Enjoy the rest of your evening, day, weekend, and until next time, we will see each other soon. I love you guys so much. Take care.